So, what does it mean to be W-2 optional and why does it matter? I would define being W-2 optional as not being solely reliant on your W-2 job for income and implies that you have a source of passive income. Income that comes in while you are sleeping. When you do become W-2 optional, it feels like you have superpowers others don't have. Let me explain. First, it gives you the freedom to say no. You can say no to situations that don't align with your values, goals, and interests. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had to hide your true self or put on a false front at your workplace in order to appease your boss or your coworkers? Being W-2 optional gives you the freedom to say no to that and be your authentic self without damaging your future career prospects. For example, I had a friend who worked at a casino. A man sat at her table who was clearly intoxicated with alcohol and not making good decisions on how much money he was gambling away. Seeing this, she politely suggested that he take a break, get some rest, and maybe return tomorrow, because he was too drunk to think clearly and was losing all of his money. After she made this suggestion, the manager was passing nearby and overheard her. The manager pulled her to the side and told her, if the customer wants to keep playing, then you need to let them keep playing. She rebutted that this guy was too drunk and wasn't making coherent decisions. The manager snapped back at her. It doesn't matter. We are our business. If you do stop them from playing again, we will find somebody to happily take your position. Unfortunately, because she needed her job, she didn't have much choice but to agree with her employer. Imagine being in her position. What a nightmare it would be to compromise your morals for money. What if you had to choose between losing your career and not being able to provide for your family versus bending your moral code? Being W-2 optional, you can just leave. You wouldn't need the money that badly. Now, let's talk about the second most important reason for becoming W-2 optional. Did you know that financial freedom is heavily correlated with better health and longer life expectancy? This study in the United States found that the richest American men lived 15 years longer than the poorest men, while the richest American woman lived 10 years longer than the poorest woman. You can see a general upward trend of an increased life expectancy based off of the household income percentage tile that people were in. By building up your passive income and wealth, you literally build a healthier and longer life for yourself according to the research. What would you do with those extra 15 years of life? You will at the very least have more time to spend with your loved ones. How important is your health to you? Finally, being W-2 optional allows you to design your ideal lifestyle, whether that includes being able to work from anywhere in the world, pursuing a passion project, or dedicating more time to your hobbies and interests that you previously neglected because of your job obligations. Let me tell you, there is no better feeling than having passive income to help cover your travel expenses so you don't have to feel guilty about splurging or spending that money. Now, let's talk about the best way you can build up passive income so that you can become W-2 optional yourself. And that is to get into the game of real estate as soon as you can. Hi, my name is Ryan Cha, your friendly neighborhood real estate investor, and I teach new investors how to get their first profitable investment property. Andrew Carnegie said, 90% of all millionaires become so through owning real estate. Real estate is so powerful. And even if you have just one rental, you'll put your life on a completely different path than somebody who doesn't own a rental because of all the ways that rental builds up your passive income and family's wealth. Then you get to pass on that income generating rental to your children so that they can get a head start in life. Now, there are 3 steps that I recommend that you take to get into real estate investing as soon as you can. And these are the exact 3 steps that I took to build up my own personal multiple 6-figure rental portfolio. Now, the first step I recommend you do is to live like a college student. What I personally did for this was I lived with my parents for the first 5 years while working my W-2 job. I was able to live rent-free, help my parents buy dinner whenever I could, and save up a ton of money which I needed to get into the real estate investment game. Now, perhaps you're older, maybe you have kids. In this case, I would suggest living with a friend, relative, maybe a sibling, or even a grandparent. This will save you from having to pay a super high rent or an expensive mortgage payment. Now, this isn't perfect, but it only really needs to be temporary in order to get you to step number 2. The second step that I recommend that you take is to house hack a property as soon as possible. This means that you live at the property and rent out the other rooms to housemates. This makes it so much easier for you to cash flow or at least cover your mortgage payment on your first property. And I recommend house hacking because you only need to put a 3.5% down payment on the property if you live at the house. For example, let's say you buy a $300,000 house. That means a 3.5% down payment on it would only be $10,500 that you need to save up, as long as you live at the house for 1 year. Plus, doing this, you finally get started in building up your confidence as a real estate investor. And if you want more privacy, you can always buy a duplex and live in one unit and rent out the other unit. Most importantly, I recommend renting out by the bedroom instead of renting out by the house because you can double or triple your rental income that you would make on that rental. For example, this property I purchased for $210,000. It was a 4-bed, 3-bathroom house. I added 2 bedrooms to it to make 6 bedrooms total. Each bedroom rented out for about $625 per bedroom, which ended up being $3,750 per month for the whole house. My mortgage was $1,190 per month, so my cash flow was $2,560 per month on this property, which was a 73% return on my down payment of $42,000. Buying your first property makes you start believing in yourself as a real estate professional. You're probably saying right now, Ryan, I don't know what you're talking about. I do believe in myself. Well, unfortunately, that's not really how belief works. You can't just tell yourself that you believe. Belief is also created by what you do. I'll give you a quick example. Let's say you're trying to lose weight, so you decide to sign up for a gym membership. But you don't go that often, and eventually you stop going altogether. This is when you start telling yourself in your head, man, this sucks. I can't get fit. No matter how hard I try, I can't lose the weight. What's the solution to this problem? It's not rocket science. You have to get off your butt and go to the gym. Because it's our inaction that's creating these negative thoughts in our heads. Until we take action on them, they will remain there. If we went to the gym regularly, we simply wouldn't be thinking these thoughts. Because if we go to the gym every week, we are making steady progress towards our goal of losing weight. Similarly, if we read a lot of books about real estate, go to all these seminars, but never actually commit to buying that first property, we would unfortunately be forever getting stuck in our own heads. Which is why so many people who want to get into real estate investing are stuck in analysis paralysis, finding it tough to just get started. When I started, I was also in analysis paralysis. I call it the state of mental constipation. And the only way out is taking action. So if you want to just get started, do a house hack. If it doesn't work out, you can always sell it later. Finally, step number 3 to truly becoming W-2 optional is to build systems and teams so that you get your time back and can continue to scale your portfolio without having to put in more work yourself for every property that you buy. Here is a quick, cool example of a system that I created that you can feel free to borrow for yourself. Occasionally, my house needs a repair. I teach all of my tenants to email all repair requests to my ticketing system. Specifically, I use something called Zendesk. A ticket is automatically created and my contractor receives the ticket. The contractor then messages the tenant to see if they have permission to go into the house to fix the problem. When they get a yes, the contractor uses the lockbox to get the spare key, enter the house, and fix the problem. Once complete, the contractor marks the ticket as resolved and sends me the invoice. And then I pay with my credit card. This system is what handles all of my repair requests, and I am removing myself from the process. It gives me my time back so that I can be eating dinner with my family without needing to get involved with managing the house repairs. Feel free to borrow it for yourself. Zendesk charges only $19 per month for this ticket support plan. Trust me, there is no better feeling than being able to wake up every morning, being able to set your own schedule. But that only happens if you have strong systems and teams in place to handle issues while you are sleeping. And that's it. Those are the 3 steps to becoming W-2 optional so that you can replace your W-2 income and get your time freedom back. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends so that it can reach more people who are really struggling with getting started in real estate investing. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.